Okay, I think we are good to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in here in chapter 38 of game or
Yeah.
round 5 against the opponent I was very scared of playing, Harleen Singh Jaspal. And I did mention last time that I did go over the game with him in which I don't know, I spent maybe 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes with him after the game. So I have some good insight as to what he was thinking as well.
Great. Well, this is a much awaited encounter. We were waiting to see this. And it was a decisive game. I mean, if you won this game, you'll probably run with the tournament, I guess.
Yeah, he won. Yeah.
um,
He's won every tournament he's been in.
yeah, but you did pretty well in this game. I mean, I wasn't impressed. I don't think he definitely didn't run all over you or anything like that, and he was in real danger.
Yeah,
Just a
it was
few
more
accurate.
I was my worst enemy this game. It wasn't really him, right?
Yeah, there were many instances in this game where you could have put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, if you believe Stockfish, you were even pretty much winning at some point, even though in reality there wasn't a decisive advantage.
I should have pulled the
So
trigger
clear.
on the B file. I should have pulled the trigger a little early. I got a little bit slow wanting all my pieces. I think I played like rook c8 or something, rook c8 or rook b8 instead of just pushing.
Yeah,
I
you played rook c8, but even then, well, we're going to see
Yeah,
this.
okay.
So, yeah, um, it was a Sicilian defense. It seems like you felt very comfortable.
I'm
Uh,
comfortable in
uh,
any Sicilian. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess at this point, especially if your opponent plays bishop c4, you should be thriving. I mean, you encounter this a lot on the internet, and you do more than okay as far as I see. Knight f6, h3. It was interesting that your opponent, uh, well, he didn't even respected the principles of the opening. I mean, he played h3, and after another
He plays
reasonable,
a3 pretty quick. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very
yeah, maybe
prophylactic.
too much. Yeah, but well, of course, you're not going to face any kind of trouble. The thing is, we already talked about this. It is thought that white plays this way, and it might give him some inconvenience, but he's white. If you do this with black, you're probably going to get crushed very quickly because that's the way it goes. But if you are white, you can get away with playing some strange or non-event moves. The thing is that you're kind of resigning any kind of hope of advantage um, you could have after the opening. And you did well because you didn't go to his throat immediately. You didn't want to punish him, but you did very well in just developing your pieces to reasonable squares. Well, bishop g5. What do you think about that? Bishop g5.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, I'm used to seeing it online. It doesn't bother me because I'm basically prepared to play bishop e7. Um, I
Yeah, a good rule in the Sicilian is that if black didn't play e5, then bishop g5 is probably not a good move. Most of the time, not always, of course, there are some lines where you go bishop g5, f4, and white throws everything at black. I think in neither, but well, white doesn't get to do that if he's going to play h3, a3. Um, and the bishop on g5 is kind of committed after you play bishop e7 because, well, you played bishop e7 immediately. And now any change of the dark square bishops is not going to favor him. And it's not like he's going to prevent d5 forever with a bishop g5. So probably the right square for the bishop is e3. He has to probably get this knight to e2 or f3, maybe go f4. But well, no, another problem with White's idea of just moving pawns around in the opening uh, is that he doesn't have a clear spot for his pieces. Yeah, he can get them out. He can get the knight out, the bishop out. He can even castle, but then his pieces have no aim. They have no spots, and that's kind of what happened to him. Um, G2, B5.
Oh, okay, wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this the spot? Is this might be the spot on move 8. I spent an enormous amount of time on this move. I and it was pretty good because, as you know, I'm not a very good calculator. I can't really. I'm bad at visualizing, but I think this is the move. And I spent, like, I don't have the score sheet in front of me, but I probably spent, I don't know, like 15 to 20 minutes on this move, which for me that's a long time. And I was calculating very deeply. I think knight takes e4.
Oh.
And I actually calculated this for me pretty well. I think maybe 7 moves in or something, which for me is pretty good. And it ended up being. I basically was worried about my knight getting trapped, and he, I wasn't. I didn't. I wasn't sure if he saw this or not, but after the game, I asked him about it, and he saw the exact same thing, and I was really calculating this, and then I was looking at, if I just do it in red, his bishop, like maybe he can go here and then take here, or he could go back. There was a lot of stuff to calculate here,
Yeah,
and
many subtleties.
yeah, and
I see
then
that if he goes bishop c7, you can play king d7
yeah,
also.
I
There
looked
are
at
some.
that, yeah, and
Yeah.
he had a very interesting, when we looked at it over the board after the game, he had a very interesting idea that he thinks that I still could have taken, and the knight wouldn't be stranded here, because I was worried about him, I think, going here and then my knight being trapped, but he saw even deeper, and I think he suggested d5 after that.
Oh, d5.
Yeah, and then I think d5 was the idea of, I think, d4. I forget, but anyways, the point being, after the knight goes here and then the bishop goes back, that's why I went b5 first, because then I thought he won't be able to do that and that my knight could escape. I think that's what it was. But then I overlooked that he could simply just remove the knight. I forgot that if I go b5, he actually, whoops. If I go b5, he doesn't have to move the bishop. He can actually take the knight.
Yeah, but that's good news for you because you're forcing him to give up the bishop pair, and you have a beautiful
Yeah,
bishop.
I know, but I thought it was this. I'm winning a pawn.
Yeah.
I thought if he moves the bishop, I'm winning a pawn. But
Yeah, the
anyways, yeah,
alternative is much more.
but yeah, I spent a very long time on that, and then I was happy that I saw b5. I thought b5 was answered everything, but unfortunately, I think that is the perfect answer for white.
Yeah, it looks like a mess. I'm trying to calculate it actually, but
Yeah.
at some point where you said d5, I also like b5 after he plays knight. I'm sorry, bishop b3. For example, knight takes e4, takes e7, knight takes c3, bishop takes d8, knight takes d1. He has to play. Oh, he might go bishop b6. So that, yeah, you can't go b5 and knight a4. Bishop b6 maybe. And if knight takes b2, bishop b3. Oh, the knight is getting caught there. Is that right? Um, Yeah, you have a problem there. Usually, when the bishop survives after this sequence of captures, it happens a lot. You have to really make sure that your knight is going out, or else it's probably going to be lost. That happens a lot. Knight takes, bishop takes. This is the line
Yep.
I was. Knight takes d1, and here you could go to g5 or h4, but I'm liking this bishop b6 because, for example, if you go to h4, knight takes b2, and the knight is going to get out because you always get to play b5, and at the very least you have knight a4. And you're off the hook, and you're probably better here. Well, you're 2 pawns up already. But I'm not quite sure what happens after bishop b6. This is what you saw during the game.
Yeah, this is one of the lines. Yeah. That's why I wanted to play b5
now,
first.
Yeah, this bishop b6 seems strong. Well, rook b1 is a threat. And d5 is interesting, but I'm already not a fan of this. I mean, even rook b1, c4. Well, you have c4, but bishop takes. I know that black is still a pawn up, but that knight on b2
Is that the move that he was suggesting? Could it have been something else?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure if.
Because I know he suggested a move here.
Oh, c4.
But maybe it was c4.
c4 and 95. That could be it. Yeah, c4 looks strong. Dictates, I guess, and 95, for example. Well, now you're getting your knight out. Well, c4 wasn't spot. Well,
I'm not sure if 95 was his idea, but I really forget what he said. But he thought I had, it was a pawn move. I can't remember if it was c4 or not.
Well, c4 now looks good. Even yes, e4 takes 95, and you are going to capture on c4. Hey, you're a pawn up.
Maybe that might have been what
You're
it was.
A pawn up.
And I was surprised. I mean, he saw it pretty deep. Hey, I mean.
So, well, he was calculating the same as you were.
Yeah, he saw a little bit deeper than I did. The c4.
Yeah, still. Yeah, c4 seems to be strong here. 95 also. I don't know about 95. Looks interesting, but I'm not sure about 95 f4, for example. Yeah, you. No. You can still play c4, I guess, after that. But it's unnecessarily messy if c4 works well.
Yeah. And if I encounter something that it gets messy, I'll abandon it for something that is not so messy. But I didn't see this.
Yeah.
That was what he saw. All I saw was that I ended my calculation after bishop b3.
Here after bishop b3.
Then I thought it doesn't work unless I play b5 first. So that's why I played b5.
Well, honestly, until I saw this position, I didn't even for. It was worth trying to calculate this, because if you get to keep the pawn and destroy his pawn structure, then you're going to be practically, I don't know if winning, but it's to avoid. But your b5 was still fine. It wasn't easy to spot all that, especially that c4 that actually saves knight, apparently.
Yeah, because also I was calculating everything else too, right? Like bishop c7 and bishop g5 and h4.
Yeah, there are so many options.
Yeah.
I think bishop b6 is kind of key so that you don't get
Yeah.
b5 in,
Yeah.
but still, there's always this c4 that saves the knight, which is difficult to see. But b5 is perfectly sound move, and well, now he didn't want to enter that line with knight takes e4. Well, that's another thing of bishop g5. It's kind of exposed to all these things with knight takes e4, which are really flying over the position every
Sorry,
time.
sorry,
So now he has to, yeah.
sorry. If I can just, I was just thinking here. What about if the bishop went to c7, pulling the king and then going to b6? Maybe that worsens black's position a little bit extra.
Oh, let me see. So instead now knight g2 instead of b5, this variation again. Bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, and now bishop c7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if we need to play.
Because the problem is he's going to take if.
Yeah, maybe king d7 then.
Yeah, I just thought maybe this is even better for white because then the king is misplaced.
Bishop b6. Yeah, at least black, I mean, white can count on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, still I like your position here because you're going to win this pawn. But yeah, it's probably better for white to have this king displaced. It's probably better. But still, with a king on d7 or about this one, f4. Now I'm seeing this and I'm not certain what's going on.
Yeah, like I can't see that deep.
I didn't see this f4. Maybe this gives you some kind of trouble because even if you take on c4, he goes bishop d4 and he's not winning the knight immediately. Your knights are kind of in trouble. You still have b5. It's very messy. It's
Yeah.
so difficult to know if the knights are getting out or not.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they are, but
It's risky.
yeah, it's risky and it's very tough to calculate to the end.
Yeah.
I really like your decision because of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially if he has to take. That's one problem with the bishop in g5. It's so exposed to these knight takes e4 themes or well, to any kind of discoveries that now he has to give up the bishop for nothing, for absolutely nothing. Now you are clearly better. You even managed to push your queen set pawns with tempo. Now you castle. Queen c1 is an absolute mystery to me.
I talked to him about this, and I told him, like, I said, why not just queen d2? And he was very, very adamant about this, and we kind of argued friendly, in a friendly way, but we really argued against this. He still stands behind this move. The reason is he was terrified about b2, and he thought he had to defend it immediately. Otherwise, I'm going to put way too much pressure on this on this diagonal and on just all of this. He was just terrified of this. He thought if he doesn't play king c1, he's going to be like pinned down here. But I still didn't really agree with him. But he was very adamant about that. That's why he played it.
Well, he's actually not preventing before at all. You're going to play it very soon anyway. But yeah, it's a strange move. I mean,
Yeah.
the knight is going to go to d1 either way if you push the knight back, I guess, before a takes b, c takes b maybe, knight d1 is pretty much the only move. You're not going to go to a4. From d1, the knight defends b2, so yeah, it's a strange move. I don't know if it's if it's the worst. But after you play bishop b7, rook c8, then before an opening the c file, well, the queen is not going to be very well placed on c1 with a rook on c8. So I don't like it. Still, it's very difficult to suggest anything for white because as you see, he just developed his pieces. He kind of carelessly exchanged his dark square bishop, and now his pieces have no perspectives. I mean, the knight on e2 has nowhere to go. The knight on c3 is stuck. His best piece and the one he should put all his hopes in is the bishop on a2 probably. And you kind of have a plan to shut that bishop down with d5 and c4 in the future, so he had to take care of that. And your play is really easy here. You just play as you played, and you got a very big advantage here. Bishop b7, he castle.
I'm just
Yeah,
shaking my
and now
head
you
because
play.
I know that my position. I felt great. I thought my position was fantastic, and then it all goes downhill very quickly.
Yeah, but yeah, you have all the play here. It's not winning. It's not easy to convert, but he didn't do anything extraordinary up to this point. In fact, I was kind of surprised that he did. He made um, many bad positions from a many bad positions. I'm sorry, very, very bad moves from a positional point of view. He kind of left the principles of the opening at the hotel. um, and then knight e2, the knight on e2, that bishop g5, bishop takes f6, h3, a3. I mean, he was playing for nothing, as it seems. He had no plan, and that's probably the worst thing about White's approach. He has no plan whatsoever. Then he started throwing everything at you, and it was kind of his chance to stay in the game because otherwise you were going to roll over him on the queen side. But up to this point, he just he made very weak moves from a positional point of view. Now you play knight d4. I would like to know what was the reasoning behind the knight d4.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll try to think of it. I think part of the idea is to open up my bishop, my light squared bishop, so that maybe I can break open the center. So basically hoping for the. It's not so much to trade knights. It's more to open up the bishop, I think. And I think if he were to trade, I would take with the bishop and just pull back. It's kind of hard because I can't remember exactly why I played it, but that would be my rationale now.
Yeah, it's not a bad move. It's perfectly possible. Still, you have pieces that need to be
Improved.
developed. You could say developed, but they can be improved. That might be a better term for it. Rook c8, for example, looks so natural. I find it interesting that you say that after knight d4, knight takes, you were planning to take with the bishop.
Yeah, probably.
Well, an interesting plan here that is kind of common in this structure is c takes d, because then this pawn on c2 is so hard to defend down the c file. It's an ugly backward pawn. Now you can double up on the c file, and it's very tough for white to defend it. If he goes bishop b3 at some point, then you have the plan of playing d5, and after the changes, you go bishop takes, and you're hitting the bishop, and if the bishop is traded, then the pawn is in trouble. And if he goes c3, he's opening up the position for your bishop, so you're happy anyway. So yeah, after knight d4, knight takes, c takes d is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
Bishop takes also.
For me, that's an advanced move because it's violating the beginner concepts and um, because at my level, that's
Yeah,
you know what I mean, right? Like
it's strange, but I promise you that when you see this sort of structure again, which is kind of common in the King's Indian attack or the closed Sicilian, sometimes you get to put a knight on d4, and after knight takes, you get the possibility to take and then gang up on
I know
this pawn on c2.
it's just kind of funny to me because like when you're a beginner, taking with the pawn would be a bad move,
Yeah.
and then when you're an intermediate, you would maybe take with the bishop, and then when you're a bit better, you're going to take with the pawn again. You know what I mean? So it's kind of those basic um, ideas in mind that wouldn't put taking with the c pawn in the front of my mind. Um, I mean, I would have given it consideration. I didn't really give too much consideration here of if he takes how I'm going to take it. I at this point I think I was really just trying to improve my light squared bishop.
Yeah.
So I thought if he takes, then I can decide at that point.
Yeah, and you actually have that bishop pair, and you're better anyway. You're the one putting pressure on him, so taking with actually still gives you an advantage. It's not there's no big difference, but this is an interesting way of taking that maybe you can have in your arsenal. I
Yeah.
promise that after if you see this, you're probably going to think about it then.
Yeah, it's interesting that
If you're
the whole
confused.
reason is to kind of create a weakness on c2.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially since white doesn't have an attack going on the king side, it can be pretty effective because you get to play rook c8 pretty much immediately on queen c7, or maybe doubling the rooks, and it's really troublesome for white. He starts to defend immediately, and he doesn't get to attack as he would like to. Um, but well, maybe 94 is a little bit premature in the sense that at least he can trade a pair of pieces. He gets rid of this knight that no one knows what he's doing at this point. Um, Rook c8 was annoying. Now 94 is interesting because you already have the Rook c8. If he goes just as in the game, you can play g6, avoiding this. You're preventing this. Knight a5, and then before is coming. If you open up the c file, he's going to be in trouble. 94 is a problem. Yeah, this is ugly for him. And after 94, he probably should have taken. Because that knight of yours on d4 is a giant. Uh, well, you kept throwing everything at him. a5. Uh, you really wanted to put all your pawns in on his side.
I was preparing to attack on the. I was it's not a super arrow, but I know that the pawns are kind of in this direction, so telling me to attack on the queen side here. I was pretty determined to attack on the queen side.
Yeah, you have a space advantage there. All your pieces are pointing towards the queen side. It's perfectly reasonable that you go that way. And of course, he has to attack on the king side if he uh, any chance of surviving this. It's going to be by well going for an attack. He can't compete with you on the queen side. So yeah, a5 is perfectly reasonable. Maybe you think about before right away.
I'm sure I did, but I liked having the support of the a5 pawn. I thought give a really good punch.
Yeah, it would be nice to have the pawn on a5 already. I don't know if b4 is best. The thing is that if it works, that would be great because this is actually kind of a race. You're very much ahead. I'm sorry. You're very much ahead in the race because well, he spent a lot of time on nothing moves like h3, a3. But that doesn't mean that he can't catch up. So playing actively might be your best idea here. I like b4 because pretty much forced to take. If I'm not mistaken, he has to take on b4. Otherwise, you're going to take, and I don't know about this.
Then we have a
We're going to
discover.
lose some discovery. There should be some discovery. So a takes b, c takes b, and now the knight has to go somewhere.
Let's
But then
say.
rook c8 is coming immediately. Looks dangerous for him. I'm not completely certain that this is the best way to go, but it certainly deserves consideration. Probably rook c8, knight takes, bishop takes, and yeah, he's going to suffer. I mean, there's no even a hint of a possible attack by him. Now it's kind of clear that he has to defend on the queen side, and that's all he's going to do for the rest of the game, or at least for the next couple of moves.
See, in
For
this
example,
position, I kind of feel, I don't feel so confident, because I kind of look at I kind of look at it as we only have 2 pawns against 2 now. I'm just telling you, like, this is like how I view it. I feel, it feels to me that white could hold off this attack. Like I just don't feel, that's kind of why I wanted the 3 pawns. I wanted more support before I attacked. I don't know. Just in this
yeah,
position, it just doesn't. I don't know if we have enough. I don't know. I just don't feel super confident about the position.
yeah, it's unpleasant for white, that's for sure, because your bishops are great, especially the dark square. And you have this plan of playing a5, a4 if he does nothing, and even creating a passed pawn on the a file. I know it's probably not going to get to that, but the thing is that he has to take a defensive stance here. If he doesn't go knight e2, for example, queen f6 would be just hitting on b2 twice, and he has to go rook b1, which is kind of awful. Yeah, I don't see an active plan for him. That's what I dislike. Mainly, that's what I dislike about his position. And your play is kind of natural. I know the pawns do look somewhat weak on b4 and a6, but once you play a5, I don't know. I don't think you're not. I don't think you're going to have problem with those pawns. And yeah, the bishop on d4, I think this is the one that makes a difference. If you go, well, let's say he doesn't allow queen f6 and goes, I don't know, knight e2. A plan like queen b6, a5, rook c7,
Didn't get in the other rook.
rook
Yeah,
f8,
yeah.
and then even pushing the pawns further, that's going to put him on the defense. And I don't know how he's going to deal with this, actually. He has no pieces to attack you. That's another good news. For example, if it goes back, then you just go bishop f6, and your bishops are giants. He doesn't even get to play in the center because of the other bishop. Um, Ideally, he would like to play c3 and d4, but I don't know. This seems optimistic, at the very least, with those giant bishops of yours. You can go d5 immediately and just blow open the position in the center, and your bishops are going to be very happy here. Yeah, he's facing a lot of trouble. e5 is not a bad move. I want to make that clear. But at this point, it's a matter of choice. He clearly wants to attack you on the king side. That's his only chance. F5, F4, F5 to make something out of this bishop on the A2 G8 diagonal. Maybe slowly but surely bring his pieces to the king side. I know it's going to take a lot of time, but that's the matter here. It's a matter of time. If you go a5, it's better from a structural point of view because you get to play b4 and all your pawns are running united. But the thing is that it takes time. b4 might not be what you're expecting from a structural point of view, but you don't give him any time to realize his plan, and your attack starts quicker than his, which I think is the case in the game, but that's something to take into account. I'm not saying that's the case here, that you can't go a5 because it's too low. I'm not saying that. It's just that it's a choice that you have to make many times. It's tempo versus what you would ideally like to do. uh, in an ideal world, we play a5, a4, b4, and we just crush him. In chess, well, maybe sometimes we really have to consider a more direct approach and creating threats right away so that we don't let him realize his plans. But still, you're so much ahead of him here in terms of how advanced your attack is, that I think you're doing more than fine here. Knight c2, knight takes, and you got his knight to be passive again. a4, now you're going for b4. I like this move. Why didn't you play b4 right away here?
I think I probably thought that he could like interlock the pawns and kind of thwart my attack a little bit. That's what I can't.
Yeah.
I think maybe like a4 and then because I remember there was a game in the French Tarrasch a few tournaments ago where I had this devastating attack on the king side, and instead of breaking open the position, I allowed the opponent to interlock the pawns. So I didn't want.
I remember.
Yeah,
that,
right.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to hear that from you again. So yeah, I thought we go here first, and then he can't. Then no matter what, I'm going to break this open. I want to pry it open. So
yeah.
yeah.
That was very good reasoning. I don't like b4 either because, yeah, now he gets to play a4, and now you really have to make an effort to play d5, but after he takes on d5, maybe d5 is the target and this bishop actually has something to do. Yeah, I really like your a4. You're fixing the target first, and then you're going to open the position, inevitably, on the queen side. Knight g3. What?
By the way, I was in
knight
love with
h5.
my pawns here. Like I take a step back and look at the board. I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, well, they are very good pawns. They look really pretty.
Yeah.
Now queen b6.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you played queen b6. What about that one?
I overlooked the annoying move which my opponent played, which was queen e3. Kind of a simple move, but it actually turned out to be a big pain in the ass.
He played c3, yeah. Either way.
Oh,
queen b6.
He played c3.
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been the next move, but I remember him playing queen e3.
Yeah. That's move he played queen e3.
So yeah, I think. I think I wanted to be ready to pounce immediately after. So if I had the queen on b6 already, I think I wanted to play b4, and then if takes, and I wanted to be able to immediately um
Play B3 right
yeah,
away.
yeah. I think that's what. So I'm thinking if I played b4 first, I think I might have been looking at if takes. I think I don't know. I can't remember because this was a little while ago. But I remember looking at this game with my friend who was at the tournament, and he hate. I can't remember if it was this move he hated, but it might have been. It was either this or when I made a rook move, and he thought I had to take the initiative right away. This was my chance to attack. It was either when I made the rook move or queen b6. But that was my thinking. I think I wanted to again have more support so that when I do make the next step of playing b4, that I have I can immediately play b3.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense because it kind of relates to your thinking process in the other moves. The thing is, it might be just a little bit too much preparation at this point. Yeah, especially since he gets something to play for after knight h5, for example, he's hitting the bishop and you don't get to take back with the queen, so you have to do something about the bishop. And I'm not saying it's uncomfortable because he doesn't have enough resources to believe in his attack, at least for the moment. Uh, but then again, he's getting some chances. Before it's a desirable move. I mean, it's your plan, mainly because you want to push those pawns as far as they can go, especially with the support of your big bishop. uh, and then we can see if he actually gets to put some resistance here because the onus is on him. Um, Actually, you're threatening to play a3 right away, winning material. So, yeah, he's in deep trouble here. Um, and maybe queen b6 is a move that you can do without, and maybe after before a takes b, c takes b, you're going to want to play something different to queen b6 depending on what he's going to do. I tend to agree with your friend. It was a time to just push your pawns forward, and that has another effect. It kills all counterplay by your opponent. He can't think about winning just by an outright attack on the king side. He needs so many moves to get something going. Knight h5. I don't know if queen f4, queen g4, or f4, f5. He's just not going to get to play all of those moves. He has to cope with threats right now, immediately. For example, if he goes c3 here, what can you play?
I'm just thinking about b3 and then a3.
If he
Well,
goes
I guess he could take b takes a then. Well, wait. Um, so if c3, b3, bishop, um, bishop b1, and I guess a3, he can just go rook takes. I don't know. I don't see anything right now. C3.
Well, in principle, a move like c3,
What
uh,
about like rook C8?
that's a move I like. Rook c8. Um, you're always going to be favored by a move like c3. He's opening the position for your bishops, but if he doesn't go c3, then a3 was a threat, rook c8 threat anyway. He's on the defensive. Well, if d4, you're going to go bishop takes d4 probably, or b takes c, and then bishop takes d4. So he's forced to go back. And well, this only spells trouble for him. You can go a3 here and just
I, I was
right open.
I was looking at B3 too because it's hard for him to push D4.
Yeah, it's not easy to play d4 anyway. Uh, d3 could be a move. Then yeah, then you have to take care of the 8 pawn also. In principle, it would be good to just blow the position open so that your bishops do something. And well, you should be close to winning here. I don't believe he's going to save himself. uh, his pieces are very poor here. They're all very passive. Your bishops are thriving. Uh, I think you can even go d5 and end up opening the whole position. Queen a5 also. Something is going to fall most probably. But yeah, b4 was a way of just putting him on the defensive for the rest of the game. I don't think that he has time um, to deal with your attack effectively. He just so much behind in his plan of attacking the king side.
I think it's definitely one of the characteristics of my play where I want everything to be set up perfect and planned before I launch the attack. You know, I like everything like when I played A5 and Queen B6. I like to
To
yes,
really make
maybe I'm a
sure that
little
it's
bit
going
too
to work.
slow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of natural. We always, when we are better, we want to win with uh, the least amount of trouble possible. That's something I always did. I really overdid. Also, I wanted everything to be in line for me. Just calculate two moves and then win the game positionally. It's very tough to play like that because most of the time your opponent is going to be trying to create something actively, trying to create some counterplay. For example, Queen B6 actually gives him some time to do just that. After knight h5, for example, he hits the bishop. The bishop is not defended by the queen anymore. You shouldn't let him take the bishop and take with the g pawn because your king gets weakened and he has counterplay all of a sudden. And I mean, maybe at this point the evaluation is the same. You're clearly better. There's no arguing that, but he's getting practical chances. And when you fail to put him on defensive with active moves, once your position warrants that, uh, then it gets increasingly difficult. We already saw that. Maybe you're still better, but things are not looking so green for white because he keeps getting chances, and that's important in a practical game. Uh, he should have played knight h5 here. I find it strange that he played c3 first. Now you played rook ac8. Maybe this is what you were trying.
This might have been the move. He might probably wanted me to play B4 immediately.
Yeah, he's actually with c3. He's giving you another contact point. b4 is well, it looks good. Now you're going to take on d3 or a3, go queen a5, and he really has to deal with the weakness of this pawn on c3. Um, yeah, this is looking good for you again. It's just another contact point created by him. I find it strange that he played c3. That's so natural, and he actually played it moves later. So I don't know why he didn't play it right away.
He was really terrified of this whole setup. Like that's what when he played the early Queen C1, he was
Yeah.
terrified of this. He wanted that taken care of.
Yeah, that's the reason why. And most probably, I mean, c3, you already have the queen. Yeah, he actually gives you the chance to play right away. Rook ACA, yeah, I mean, the rook is uh, it's not badly placed in c8 or anything, but still before was strong, and again it was the move to keep the initiative going. And now queen e3 is annoying.
Yeah.
I think you're right,
That yeah.
because yeah, before now is not a thing, not actually easy
Yeah, it was such a
to
simple
play.
move, and it really annoyed me because with that one simple move, it really stops a lot of my attack, if not all of it.
Yeah, now it was time to actually think about his counterplay, because his position got a little bit better in a couple of moves. The queen is uh, actually uh, pretty much on the king side. That's what he needed to do if he wanted to attack. Knight h5 is coming, maybe queen g3. And now he has some counterplay going,
Yeah,
and now it was time to take a step back and just play g6, preventing knight h5. G6 usually kills a knight on g3, so that's something to have in mind.
yeah, and he has
And
he
here
has
it
no dark
was.
squared bishop.
Yeah, I guess he has to play f4 and go for that. Though I tend not to believe him. He should go for that and see what happens. I don't think he's going to go too far, because there are so many ways you can face this f5 idea. Um, let's say, for example, rook d8. So, well, f5, you're going to go d-take. Um, yeah, it doesn't look that great for him. And when he plays f5, you always have this bishop e5. You have a very big bishop on e5 either way, so it's not that easy to just push his pawns. But now he has counterplay. There's no doubt about that. You played d5 here, and now this is surprisingly annoying. I couldn't believe that it's so annoying. I mean, it's
I
not
know
like he's better
I
on
couldn't in the
it.
game. I was blindsided by his attack because he's got just a queen and a knight, and I've got I've got like two rooks. I got a queen that can come in. I got a bishop, and I have pawns that haven't moved. I didn't understand. Like he's got two pieces here. It was yeah, I was really
Yeah, he
surprised.
has targets all of a sudden. It's incredible. There's no way of, I don't know, putting this bishop on a good square. Bishop e7, he takes d5, and the bishop is in trouble in e7. Um, Bishop d8, ugly.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's taking the square away from my queen, and yeah.
yeah, it's strange to say the least. He's going to take on d5. Oh, he can actually win a pawn
I was
here.
amazed when he played Knight H5. I was like, what the hell? Because like I that was not on my radar, and I thought like when he played it, I thought he was desperate. Like, but then the more I looked at it, the more annoying it got.
Winning a pawn if you go bishop d8, which is funny. Now he has a way to win a pawn. It's a nice exercise. I don't know if it holds. Yeah, he wins it.
What bishop? I'm sorry, queen e5.
Queen e5 seems to win something here. This pawn is falling. Yeah, f6, bishop takes d5 is, and queen g6, knight f4, and then 5 is falling. Yeah, unbelievable. But
Well,
he's,
yeah, I know it's amazing, but queen and knight is like the best combination, right?
yeah, here it showed. It actually showed. Uh, yeah, you could tell that they worked very well together. But he made a mistake here. He made an interesting mistake. His only hope for counterplay is bishop and this diagonal. He's not going to make you queen and knight, even if it's a great combination of pieces. Come on, they are only two. Uh, and your king is so well protected. You don't have weaknesses. Um, you're still doing fine here. I don't believe that you're any worse. But he played e5 here. How about that e5? What do you think he should have played?
Before I answer that, I just want to go back a couple moves because there was, I think, we kind of glazed over my d5 move, and I remember now that afterwards I was kind of angry at myself afterwards because when I played d5 for some reason I 100% overlooked that he could play e5, um, just 100%. Just I don't know. I just missed it. So I actually did not like my d5 move here after, because that because of e5. Maybe not played now, but like eventually, like it could be played. But anyways, getting back to here. Sorry. So if e5,
Like it happened in the game? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I got angry here because I'm like, oh my god, like I actually I thought this was a good move. So I have to think here.
Well, normally it would be to get his attack going, better to play e5 and throw everything at you in the kings. But here I don't think it's such a great decision because he has so little risk inside that he's not going to make you queen and the knight. And he's actually with e5 he's depriving his bishop of all kind of activity. And he's giving you a free hand to play b4 very soon probably, or playing on the queen side again. Uh, I think have uh, you can have some sort of trouble with your pawn on d5 after something like, or at the very least he could just uh, go for an endgame like this, and now you have to be always taking care of this pawn on d5, and so his bishop is actually doing something. I know that this wasn't his intention, he was going for an attack, and not, but probably after e5 his attack is just not going to work. He has just so little, his army is just so little on the king side that uh, I don't believe his attack is going to work actually. You had chances of just fending off his attack. Bishop e7. Well, now he has to play d4, probably for you do. For is fine. And now do you think you play?
So he played d4.
Yeah, probably because if he doesn't, you can play d4, and this bishop is going to be a giant, and your open center, which actually favors you. Um, so yeah, he played d4 here. And now you had a strong move. It's a positionally good move.
Just wondering about C takes D. Opening up that file, and then maybe we're controlling the C file. Maybe we can play Rook C2, and maybe attack again on the queen side.
Yeah, the attack on the queen side is the idea. C takes D, C takes D, Rook is the idea. Probably the most interesting.
I was just that was my second thing I was about to look at.
Yeah, before probably the move here. You're going to open two, most probably. He's not going to mate you. That's why e5 is not so great. You can actually resume your attack on the queen side, which was brought to a halt after kind of got some counterplay going on the king side. But after e5, he deprived his bishop from all its chances of attack on the A2, I'm sorry, G8 diagonal. Yeah, he's not good. He can play queen g3 and make some annoying threats, but you can get away with it because he has he doesn't have enough resources on the king side to mate you. If you play before, he has to take care of some weaknesses immediately. You take on c3, for example, and go queen a5. Then he has to take care of that pawn. You can go bishop a6 and create some threats immediately. Yeah, before looked really good for you. I don't know what thinks of this, but I bet that it says that you can defend the king side and you actually get some good play on the queen side. Yeah, this looks good for you. Actually, here is when you make the move that was the it was the beginning of the end. It's not losing; it gets you in trouble. You play g6. Queen h6. Yeah, this, missed this.
Oh yeah, I 100% missed that. I thought, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I thought, like
It was about from the
like when he played it, I thought, like, I was completely stunned.
It's amazing that it's still not losing. The game gets pretty sharp, but you defended well.
Until I played like king. I think I played king c7 or something, or king e.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understood his plan here 100%. Of bringing his bishop back to b1. But I didn't like. I mean, I thought he was going to be able to force a draw there. Is kind of what I was expecting. After g6, queen h6.
Yeah, but even up to this point, you were doing good. Or actually,
Yeah, I completely did not consider queen h6 as being a move. I thought, like, that didn't even glance over my thought process.
Yeah. And now it becomes really forced. So four, f5,
I thought,
rook.
yeah. I spent a lot of time on these moves. I mean, of course, it's a very crucial part here, but I was burning a lot of time on these moves. Even this move, I spent a lot of time on.
Yeah, when the moves are so forcing, I mean, you see that g takes h5, for example, is completely forced
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise it's
Yeah, yeah.
in those make the moves. Well, this again is forced because queen takes h7 is going to be made otherwise. Because then you're going to see the position more clearly
Well,
if you have done a few
I think I was considering like rook. It might have been rook
rook
f7.
f7.
Wait, is that right?
Oh,
Possibly. I don't know. I was considering. I didn't spend on this move, but I spent some time on this move. I was considering all my options. Yeah, I was.
yeah,
I
rook
think.
f7.
Yeah, I gave rook f7 a little bit of thought because he sacked a piece. I was thinking of sacking a piece back.
Yeah, the problem. Yeah, he's going to get the pawn for the piece. I guess rook f7, f takes e, and then he can take the pawn h5, and your king falls. Yeah, yeah. You did well to take on f6. All you can show for your weakened king is that you have an extra piece. So all of this is forced. Bishop g6 takes force again because queen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very long fourth sequence actually. Queen takes, bishop f6. Up to this point, all very forced, very accurate. Well, here comes the blunder actually. You played king e7 and hang. That
Mm-hmm.
was tragic, man. That was tragic because you were even here you're doing fine. It's a crazy position. You don't have an advantage anymore, probably at least not a clear one. It's a but you're still very much in the game, and you
Mm-hmm.
win. Anything can happen. I guess queen e7 to play queen g7 should be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you didn't consider this one?
Well,
Probably
to
queen
be, if I have to be honest here, um, what actually happened, which I'm not proud to say, but like after he had this attack, all starting with this queen. What story was this queen h6, and then all of this happening when I was in such a winning position for the whole game up to this point. Um, I actually thought I was. Well, sorry. Let me just get the when after I sacked the exchange here, I actually thought I was. For some reason, I thought I was. It was like a rook and a bishop versus two rooks, like a rook, and the two queens. I didn't really take time to step back and realize that I actually have two bishops and a rook against the two rooks. And so
e7.
because of that, I basically wrote the game off. I was just kind of making a few kind of quick moves, but I like not really thinking that there was any chance. So I kind of misread the position. I forgot that material wise, it's actually pretty equal. White is better because of all these passed pawns, but there was definitely a fighting chance here for black. But I kind of
Yeah.
I made the moves a little bit quick because I thought it was a rook and a bishop against two rooks, and those,
You
yeah.
thought you were
I thought it was
fully
pretty much
defense
game
then?
over, so I was just kind of making a few moves to just see what would happen, um, and then I just totally blundered. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. This is actually a mess. I don't know who is doing better here. If you get to defend and your bishops get active, he's going to be in deep trouble. Those bishops could be very problematic for you. On the other hand, your king is still weak, but it's a mess. This is anyone's game. Of course, it turned from being
Yes.
close to winning position, at least
Yeah.
from a point of view, to this very
The
messy game. But had every chance.
I was just 100% blindsided by that knight h5, queen h6. I think psychologically it had an impact on me because I couldn't believe he got something going with that, and then
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's attacking. Yeah.
yeah, and then I wasn't thinking straight here when the blunder had happened. I think so. I moved ahead there, but um, it's I think it's within the next few moves that the blunder happens.
Yeah, here king e7 and
Oh, I went
queen
right away.
h7 and
Yeah, that was.
yeah,
And I think I played a few more moves, but I was just moving quickly, hoping that
yeah,
maybe I can trap its queen. Yeah.
yeah. It was actually a very good game by you. Just the thing is that you might have been a little slow when you had to pull the trigger on the queen. I really believe that if you played before at some, you wouldn't have lost this game. He has to face so much trouble on the queen side that it's very hard to play. And he kind of got something going on the king side rather miraculously because even at this point when he played e5, he really has nothing on the king side. If he played b4, it's so difficult to just coordinate pieces to get something going. If queen g3, for example, g6, uh, he's not even bothered. You have the dark square bishop, so you shouldn't be afraid of any weaknesses on dark squares, especially if he doesn't have dark square bishop. And I don't know how he's going to, with the opening of two fires on the queen side. Suddenly, all of your pieces are going to be doing something. He was in deep trouble for much of the game.
Yeah.
uh, and yeah, it's clear that he's a good player because can really calculate, and when he got an opportunity, he really took it. But you can definitely play with him, and you can definitely beat him. This game is a good. It's a good proof that with a little bit more care and some more enterprising game at some point, you might as well win a very good game against this guy. I mean, he's good, but he also makes mistakes, and he makes a lot of positional mistakes
Yeah.
that you don't,
I was very
which is interesting.
I was very surprised when he played h3 and a3. Like I was surprised because like he was destroying every player he's matched against, and I'm like, what? You're playing h3 a3?
Yeah, I mean, the guy, it's kind of evident that the guy has good tactical skills, and this goes to show how important are tactics, especially at this level. Many of the games are going to be decided by sudden attacks, by tactical means. Even if positions, uh, even if he gets a very bad position out of the opening, he has the chance of fighting and finding stuff like queen h6. I mean, g6, queen h6 is a very easy move to miss. And also for him, actually, kudos to him for fun. It's not so easy to see a move in the distance like bishop b1 hitting h7 after g takes h5 and all the consequences. Um, it's it's pretty clear that he has good tactical resources, but on the other hand, he makes a lot of strategical positional mistakes that you actually got advantage of. You got a very good position, nearly winning because of that, and I wouldn't have been surprised if you actually won this game. even though your opponent is a tactically sound player, you had many chances. In the future, you shouldn't be afraid of him.
No, I actually
Well,
I'm not afraid of him anymore, and I wasn't in the game. I think the whole knight h5, queen h6, that was kind of a fortunate happenstance for him. Because I think if that didn't happen, I think I would have won the game. But yeah, I mean, if I'm paired up against him again, I definitely wouldn't be scared because I think there's a lot of other little kids that I'd be a lot more scared of. But because of this game, because of what happened, where I was winning for most of the game and then just kind of lose to this little attacking tactic. In the next game, it really affected me psychologically, and that's why that game went sour very quickly.
yeah, I saw it against Alexander Yeah, his game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually no good explanation from that because it was like uh, you were a completely different player in this game. Yeah, knight takes reinforces the center right away. Knight b5 is in here. Yeah. Not the only move, knight b3 is also.
I think is this the Godiva? Is this the Godiva variation with the queen on?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw it as the Godiva variation, but I think, yeah, I think this is the Grivas variation. Grandmaster Grivas that actually even wrote a book about Queen B6. I think it's Queen B6 in this position after the Sicilian with knight C6. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I knew it, the Grivas Sicilian, but well, now it's apparently the Godiva variation.
I don't see it very often. It's a very rare opening, like at my level. But I've seen it before, but I didn't really know the ideas behind it, so it really caught me off guard.
Yeah, actually, knight takes is a good development for him because this actually strengthens black center. Um, you have to play knight b3 should be the most
Yeah, yeah.
reasonable move, and then most often black just goes back to c7. Here after knight f6, at some point he plays queen c7, and what did black get from this strange maneuver of playing queen b6 and c7? Looks like a
Mm.
loss of time, but you also he also made you play on knight b3. So in the future, an attack on the king side is not going to be as dangerous because your knight is kind of apart from the king side.
Hmm.
On b3, the knight is two moves away from getting to the king side, so an attack is not going to be as strong. Many times in many Sicilians happens. There are some mysterious maneuvers. For example, I played the cam variation, and
Hmm.
let me see. For example, in this variation, knight d3, queen c7, bishop d3, knight c6, uh, castles, and then you can go d6 right away. But another idea is to play bishop c5, and only after knight b3, bishop b7. Kind of a similar idea to queen b6, queen c7.
Mm.
The idea is that, well, black isn't really losing the tempo here because he was going to play bishop e7 either way. But now the knight on b3 is, yeah, it's a little far from the king side. So an outright win by just a king side attack is less probable. Of course, white has other ideas with knight on b3, such as queenside assaults with a4 and stuff like that. But it's kind of a diversion. You want him to play knight b3 um, to hinder his opportunities of attack on the king side a little bit, and that Queen has that idea in mind, like especially white plays knight b3, which is the main move here. Knight takes, b takes. He played c4. I'm sorry. You played.
I know it
uh,
doesn't because the game, as you say, it doesn't seem like I played this game, so you don't think it's me that's playing it. I thought I would go with some Roxy Bind. I didn't really know what to do here, but I thought before I play Knight C3, since it seems like I have the opportunity to play C4, especially since he has a pawn on C6, to help put extra support on D5. I thought Roxy Bind might make sense here.
yeah, the problem is this square, d4. I'm not sure about his approach with g6. I mean, it's not terrible, but I like e5 here because it kind of makes clear that d4 is a weak square, but d5 isn't. So his structure is better at this. He could play e5 right away, I guess, or knight f6 only after knight c3, e5. This was another way. Um, Threatening to play bishop 5. Actually, I'm not really a fan of White's approach here with c4. Maybe you have to play knight c3, but then again, after knight takes, bit has good central control, so he's doing fine. C4, G6, knight C3, bishop G7, queen C2,
I don't know that.
knight
Yeah.
F6. Yeah,
Well, yeah, Bishop
I think it's
G7
fine.
was obviously I knew Bishop G7 is coming, but once he played it, it became very annoying. Um, like
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do here. Queen C2.
But queen C2 is good.
I couldn't think. It seemed like kind of forced to me.
Yeah, it's probably necessary. Uh, G3 is too much.
I didn't know what to do. No, I was like I was in a bad frame of mind, but at the same time, to be fair, to give my opponent credit, I was really puzzled on what to do here. The double fianchettos, like I thought we're playing a Sicilian, and then I was very
Yeah.
confused. I was very confused this game. I thought I went with this because I went with G3. I know, and as you know, I never kingside fianchetto, like very rare. But I thought the bishop. If I go the bishop e2, I thought like he's going to get two fianchetto bishops with great scope. And what is this bishop doing? I thought I'm giving him all of he's got like these two artillery, and I've got nothing. So I thought I needed to kind of fight back here. That was my logic behind a G3.
Yeah, the problem with G3 is that well, it takes time and you're asking too much of your position. This is a very high maintenance structure and so many weaknesses. The pawn on C4 is target. He already has this cannon bishop. Um, yeah, it might be asking too much of your position. How can we choose guy? I think bishop 2 is it's okay for you. You're not doing bad here. And the Fianchetto's bishops, um, I'm not saying that they are bad, but they are not as great as they're portrayed to be sometimes. The thing is, you can't have everything. If you're going to have two Fianchetto's bishops, your central control is probably going to be more problematic, at least as far as occupation with pawns goes. It's not going to be that easy for him to play d5, I guess, which would be desirable to attack the center. And you're the one with a space advantage center, and if you keep developing reason here, for example, 7, then you castle. Uh, I don't believe you're in bad shape. Um, I'm not saying he has a bad position or anything, but this is completely playable for both.
Yeah, I like this compared to what happened. That's much more. We kind of consolidate our position, right? The way I played it, I felt like I had so many random pieces scattered around. They weren't working together cohesively.
Yeah, and there are so many weaknesses. Uh, it's not going. to keep this position glued together is going to pain. B6, I'm not so sure, but it makes sense. Castles, rook b1, a5. Even now, it's not that problematic for you. Well, this is reasonable. Play a5 and now, oh, sorry. The arrow is gone. And now has a chance to put the knight on c5 with pawn on a5. Maybe can go a4. Also, knight e6 is going to be a pain for you because if he lands a knight on d4, you're going to be thrown. But up to this point, queen d2. What was
I want to trade off
did I
the.
remember?
I want to. Yeah, I want to trade.
Let's try the bishop. Well, you sort of have a space advantage here. You b4 is an alternative. Maybe a takes rook a3. Yeah, he always has activity going for him. Bishop a6, b3, rook fe8, bishop h6, and he didn't mind. He might be right. I don't. I might play bishop h8 here because I really love that dark square bishop. But he's right in the sense that this maneuver with queen d2, bishop h6, bishop uh, takes up a lot of time, and it doesn't solve your problem uh, on the dark squares. So it's kind of reasonable for him to do what he did. And your pawns are in a delicate situation on the queen side. Anytime any one of those pawns move, the other one suffer. Knight of six. Yeah, the position is sort of overextended. It's still not awful for you or anything like that, but yeah, you're facing some sort of problem. Maybe it's time to just be careful and play, rook FCA, C1, queen E3. Yeah, but it's hard to. But even at this point, you were doing
When he
fine.
played d5, I was really confused. I was just that's just the way I can describe it. I was just really confused. Also this type of position in general is really hard for me to decipher. There's so many things to consider here. Well, for me, this is like this type of position where there's multiple pawn choices. We could push the pawns. We could take. We could do a lot of different things here. I spent
Yeah,
a lot.
it's a pain to calculate.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I played these tractors with the hedgehog Sicilians and that kind of stuff. And every time I have to play d5, I think, oh my god, I have to calculate all that. It's so easy to go wrong. But now you could win a pawn here. You actually took e takes t, c takes t, and only now came your mistake. You played f takes g6. But you
Yeah.
could win a pawn. Knight takes actually wins material here, or so it seems. Uh, I know the pin looks annoying, but he can't exploit it. Uh, if queen c5, you even get to play queen f2. Or knight takes d5, you have bishop takes if you want. And you always have a bailout check on b2 or c3.
Yeah, that's what I missed. I remember now. I missed.
Uh,
I missed the Zwischendug, the Queen B2 in between move.
yeah, actually, in this game, you managed to create a lot of problems. And now knight takes d5, and you're close to winning probably. You're middle up and trouble. Yeah,
I
you
was in a
missed
really
early
really
game.
bad mind frame here because I actually just wanted to go
Yeah.
home. I didn't want to play the game. Because it was after that last game, it was another tournament that I let slip away. I mean, I was trying. I knew that I was in a bad mind frame, and I was trying to just play the position, but sometimes
Yeah,
it still gets through. Um,
yeah, that's something to work on. Maybe you can think long term in those situations. It's very hard because it's disappointing when you're fighting for a tournament and suddenly you have no chance of winning.
yes.
Uh, but in the long run, this kind of stuff actually tells in your ratings, in results, in the sense that yeah, many times we are just not in a good frame of mind to play a last round when we lose chances, and
Hmm.
it's it actually, but it's something that happens, and it happens with frequency. It happens a lot. That's time to that's the time to change your mind completely and say, well, I'm going to finish this tournament as strongly as possible, and then I'm going to come back stronger, and that's it. Otherwise, you lose a lot of points in the way just because of a psychological thing. And yeah, it happens a lot. This It's kind of a syndrome of the last round. uh, Many people suffer this. I suffered this at the beginning of tournament. I
Beginning.
sometimes I Yeah, I begin the tournament when I'm not when I usually when I'm not so active, and I have no high expectations for the tournament. I find it difficult to start the tournament playing reasonably well, and so I tend to start losing or withdraw, and then I get my group going and end up in the tournament well. And that happened to me a lot, and that's something. Uh, it's kind of the opposite problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, it's more common to be
Yeah.
frustrated
At the
when you
end.
lose a chance, and then
Yeah.
at the end. Uh,
And you're also more tired, right?
yeah, yeah, that has to have its seems. Uh, but yeah, I at least what works best for me to try to fight with this kind of thing is, well, just trying to concentrate on the chess aspect of it and trying to play an interesting game and finish the tournament as good as I can. Um, Usually, I face the problem that when I lose a game, it usually happens, especially in my province, that I'm the
Top
number
seed.
one rated in the tournament. Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
top seed of the tournament, and when I lose a game, I'm losing rating points, for example, irrespective of the fact that I win the rest of the tournament games, and
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I lose
Lots of
the third
pressure.
round,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes I lose the third round and I know that I have to win 3 games. To avoid losing a lot of points, I'm going to lose points either way.
Yeah.
And then you have to arm yourself with patience and try to
That was
actually to up the ante and play better.
yeah, that was the other thing that kind of came into the psychology is this was another 900 rated opponent and who I know is underrated and I just like, oh, how come I just keep getting paired up against them, like so that was kind of irking at me at the same time, but
Yeah.
I know I have to get over this mindset, but that's what happened though. Yeah.
I try to tell myself before the game, yeah, go out there and justify your
uh,
rating. Just play better. I mean, sometimes I keep telling myself, oh, how could I make that mistake? Oh my God, well, it's over. Now go out and play better chess, or else lose rating as you deserve to
yeah,
lose
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's how I try to see it. And then you go, at least you go energized to the game. Then anything can happen, of course, but uh, I try to put myself in a better mindset, in a fighting mood possible, because yeah, it's those are hard instances to deal with, and it happens every time. It's so difficult to have a tournament where everything goes.
What's interesting is my opponent from the previous round, Harleen Singh Jaspal. He won the tournament 6 out of 6, and so undefeated. And I think he only gained like 40 points. 6 out of 6, and he only gained. So he's still, now he's like, I don't know, 1380 or something, but. Because his opponents are so low rated, he hardly gets any points.
Yeah, I guess he has to aim for the net category. I don't know which one is it. 1600 to 1800 could be the net category.
So you're saying what he should move up a section? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But there's no incentive because he can win the prize money at the lower sections for another. That's the problem. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So
until you win it,
it's my time though. I played I don't know 10 or maybe 10 tournaments, and I haven't placed in any of them. So, well, that's not true. In the very first one that I started, I won some money, but since then I haven't had.
You made it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting what happens because I think there will still be COVID-19 because the next tournament is May, but I think that'll still be canceled. I don't think things will be better by May. And June might still be canceled. So I'm just curious what will happen to. I'm curious how players will, are players going to keep practicing during that time? I'm just curious, are the kids not going to improve as much? Because normally they go to a chess school, right? They go to a chess school 30 hours a week, but now they can't do that for who knows how long. So maybe
they will have to work on their own, play a lot online.
Yeah. So, but
those who do that are going to get better and get an advantage.
Yeah. So, but was this the end of the game?
After d takes c4, it kind of went down.
Yeah, it was very quick, but I think that there was.
Yeah, queen 5, and now you're in trouble. Well, you're pawn down, and your king is so exposed. Of course, it's not completely over. You're still going to get some practical chances, but he actually played pretty well. Queen b6 check, and king h1. He just took on e4, and he won another. And so let's go back a little bit. Isn't there another way? Maybe or here? And you're objectively much worse, of course, but just thinking about how you can complicate matters.
What did I play here?
You play 94. This diagonal is a problem. Pain. Yeah, maybe you have to go before and try to have this pawn blockaded.
Yeah, I felt pretty helpless here. I kind of just made some moves to for the sake of making moves,
Yeah, rook d3, I guess, could be drawn. Yeah, this is no good. Yeah, your problem is that you don't get any kind of attacking chances against this king. So well protected. I don't know, maybe knight 5 here. No, it takes, bishop takes f6. You can't defend the bishop. Yeah. Maybe b4 is your last practical chance just to have this bishop shot, and well, at least you avoid losing another pawn, but you're still, of course, a lot worse, if not losing at all. It's not only because of the of the extra pawn. That's one thing, but the other is that your king is so much more exposed than his. King is very well defended, and that
Yeah.
actually it really limits your practical chance. He played well, queen b6. He's defending f6, and well, he liquidated to this. Now it's 2 pawns. Uh, yeah, it's a shame rook takes b3 doesn't because he takes and he's defending f7. I was thinking about something rook takes, but the queen actually defends f7, g6 just defending everything. So no tactical shots there. Rook f4. Yeah, he managed to. It's changed
Wait,
many pieces.
I'm just wondering, with your idea, what if we change the move order? We give a check first, and then we take.
Yeah, but now he's not.
Maybe he can give us a check
Rook
first.
d1. Yeah, now
It's
he's
interesting though.
attacking.
We've got some lines open. Maybe we can hide
Yeah,
here, but he's got this, and then yeah, the problem is this. Yeah, he's always controlling this H file.
yeah, it kind of requires some precision by him, but not that much. Even this was just too strong, I guess. If you go to f3, he takes b3 check.
F2.
That's it.
Oh, sorry, it's covered. Yeah, there's nothing good here.
Yeah. Still, he had to be somewhat precise. But yeah, it's very create something here. It's 2 pounds, and this one is especially worrying for you. Bishop b7, and yeah, and he played well. Yeah, that's another. You were saying that he was underrated, and yeah, he's underrated. Because, really, the guy had no problem combining this. He traded all the pieces. He didn't give you any
No, yeah,
hope for an attack. Kind of clear that he knows what he's doing.
yeah. Like I
And yeah, well,
I played bad, but he also played well.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He took advantage of your mistake. Uh, that's something to give him credit for. And now, yeah, uh, yeah, he was actually very accurate. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because even in this game you were doing very because after d5 you actually just take his pawn and
I think I lost this game before I made the first move, though.
yeah, that was probably the main problem because this is something you normally
Yeah, because like
uh,
if this was game one, I think I would have played it a lot better.
yeah, yeah, of course. Well, that's something that happens. I mean, it's difficult to manage, but well, it's part of experience, and you're going to get there. You're actually in with a very good shot at tournaments. I mean, you got to the uh, well to the defining game of the of the tournament
Yes, definitely.
in very good shape. You could have easily won this game, and you could have won the tournament outright. It wasn't meant to be. Uh, in the future, you know that you're playing at least equal terms with these guys. You have nothing to be afraid of, and you win this tournament. Uh, it's just a matter of concentrating on chess, and you're going to do fine. From what I saw, you had a very good shot, and you're probably still going to have a very good shot. So that's good.
Okay, and to recap this game 38. So you think it's fair to say that the theme of my mistakes? No, game 38. Do you think the
Yeah.
theme of my mistakes is that I didn't take the chance when I had it. I was a little bit slow trying to set up the perfect a5. Still may have been okay, but queen b6 and rook c8, trying to set things up a little bit too much instead of going for the jugular right away, just before not taking my sweet time.
Yeah, that complicates matters. The problem is that it kind of it didn't ruin your chances at all. I mean, it's not like you lost the game there. You had chance later in the game. The problem with that is that it kind of shows that you're not willing to say, hey, I'm going to calculate here and I'm going to see if this hammer blow works. And that's natural because we want to win by positional means when we are doing better. And that's a natural reaction. That's actually a problem I still have. When it's time to pull the trigger and actually calculate some variations and try to open up the position when it favors me, I also tend to try to improve a little bit more. And it's a comfortable way of doing it, but sometimes it backfires. You're actually giving him the chance to get some counterplay going. And that's something to
and actually I started watching Ginger GM on YouTube, Grandmaster Simon Williams. And I've noticed that he says in almost every video, he's constantly saying you have to stop counterplay, like stop your opponent's counterplay. So that's something I might start doing as well. He said that especially when you're winning, like before you even continue your attack, make sure that you're stopping any counterplay by your opponent.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, did my mic?
You
okay?
I'm sorry. The communication kind of.
Oh, hello, testing 1 2 3.
No.
It's good.
Now I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, now I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. I think in our next lesson, you can go. I guess because we have no more tournament games, but you can go over some of my classical games.
I've been taking a look at them.
Okay. Yeah, don't look at my Blitz games though, because those are not high quality.
But it's entertaining.
Although I played a decent game yesterday in the Ruy Lopez against the 2100 on Blitz that I won, and it was actually a pretty good game. For a Blitz game, it was pretty high quality. Yeah. Before I let you go, I just want to. Who are you rooting for in the candidates?
I would like Geary to win.
Oh, really? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, just because he doesn't get along with Carlsen, so I would really like to see that.
Oh, I see. Okay, grudge match.
And he's actually a tough opponent for Carlsen. He has sort of good score against him. I mean, at some point, Geary had the advantage. It's no longer the case, but he's a tough opponent for Carlsen, and they don't get along so much. So I think it will be very entertaining, though I don't think it will happen. Caruana is probably going to have another shot.
I would like to see Caruana play him again for a couple of reasons. One, I think it'd be nice to watch them play again because Caruana gave him a really good match. I think the first time, and also I think it would be good for North America if an American won, like for chess, because chess is, it's not as big as it could be in North America. So, I mean, it was really Fischer was the last American world champion. If we got a new one, I think it would hit the media a bit more, and chess might blossom in North America. So that could be good for my neck of the woods. So
and he's in with a very good chance. From a sporting point of view, it will be the best match. I mean, the last match was a draw. He has a very realistic chance of winning it. And I don't know if any of the other contestants are actually in with such a good chance as him. Carlsen will probably win against the rest of them. Against Caruana, it's kind of a toss-up. So yeah, it'll be a very interesting match.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
for the
go ahead.
yeah, I don't know about the other candidates. I
What
don't
about
think they
Ding?
have
What about Ding? What do you think about Ding?
well, that's another very solid
Yeah.
option, especially in a 12 match, 12 game match. Pretty much anything can happen. So Dean, Caruana, the guys who have been up there for a long time, with Canelo superior to 2800, yeah, they are in with a very good chance. But I still think Carlsen is Carlsen.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not rooting for MVL to win, but the candidates, but I wouldn't mind it if he does, because then I get to watch maybe some nice Nydorfs, you know.
Yeah,
And
he never abandons the Nido.
yeah, yeah, and well, MVL, he also, I think, and he plays, his repertoire is very similar to mine actually, and he's what I like about MVL is that he's stubborn in that he plays the same openings, right? Like he doesn't deviate, which is very brave at that level, right?
Yeah.
So
Nowadays, it is narrow repertoires are well, they're almost not to be seen in that level anymore because of well, the prep is so deep. But well, his prep should be, of course, incredible to get away with it. He actually does so.
but you're enjoying it so far, right? You're enjoying watching the candidate matches.
What today the games were great. They were unbelievable, especially the game of Giri Nepomniachtchi. That end game is incredible. Giri was very close to actually holding it. I can't believe that the edge pawn couldn't be snatched by Nepomniachtchi, and that he actually noticed that he couldn't take the pawn because the white king gets to e2 and it's a draw. I just couldn't believe my eyes. They know so much.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's such a specific end game. I would have taken that pawn without blinking an eye. Nepomniachtchi did it when he could actually do it. Wow, it blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have too much time to look at them today, but I looked at them a little bit on just watching on Lichess. I didn't watch it with commentary, but anyways, I'll let you go. But thank you again for this week's lesson. I look forward to the next one.
Okay, see you next
Okay.
Tuesday then.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.